Hey, True Believers, Englentine here, and Mr. Miracle. Here we go. Honestly, I almost passed this one up. Something was telling me, you know what, you don't need this. It's not going to be scot-free, and you're just going to be disappointed. But then I went, but it's Mr. Miracle, man. You got to pick it up. I love the cover, by the way. I really do think it pops. I think it's a great cover. That's going to be the best I'm going to say about this book. Yeah, that's the best I've got to give. I ain't going to get that good again. So, it starts off with Mr. Miracle in space, and I think this needs to be repeated. It starts off with Mr. Miracle in space. He's about to do a stunt. He's, you know, that one guy did the at the edge of the atmosphere halo jump. That's what Mr. Miracle is doing here, but he's doing it in chains. Now, it's very important to understand that this book begins when Mr. Miracle, not scot-free from apocalypse Mr. Miracle, but earthbound new Mr. Miracle in space, about to do a halo jump for his millions of fans so he can make money. All right? That's very important because of what's going to come up. The reason why I'm repeating that is, you may have noticed, is very important for what's about to come up, because this is the most bullshit comic I've read in a long time. And I just got done doing a review for the other side of the DC history. Let me tell you something. I read this, I read the Milestone Returns, and I read the other side of the DC history in 1, 2, and 3, right in a row. And there is no respect for anybody who is not white, and there's no respect for white people either at DC Comics. They hate everybody. This comic book is one of the most racist things I've ever read, and it's not racist towards white people. And one of the ways it shows is that Mr. Miracle starts off in space, ready to entertain people, millions of fans, and yet he still complains about privilege. I am not freaking kidding you. This book, it's I said this at the with the other side of the DC history. It seems like comic book writers today think that anyone who is not white, they have one story to tell. This actively pissed me off. The other one made me mad because it's supposed to be about Renee Montoya, and instead it was about John Ridley's feelings towards the world. This should be about Scott Free. I have no freaking clue what it is. It's about random angry black guy number 19, in all honesty. And in this case, a man who starts off in space is complaining about privilege. It's amazing to me. Gosh, you know what? The review's done. I think anything else I say beyond this is just going to be me repeating the same thing over and over. I guess I could go and I could do examples and everything. That's the best thing to do. I thought I would oh my gosh, this is going to be a 10-minute review because I'm going to rant and rave about this. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, we do have somebody punching the TV because they see Mr. Miracle doing the Mr. Miracle thing. That's going to get this is the page. This is the page. I kid you not. Okay, hold on. Wait. First of all, I've got the animation on this where it's pulling back. Let me stop that, and then we're going to read this page. Okay, let me get to my copy right here, and boom. All right. It's not the end of the world, but revenues and brand recognition are dipping in a couple of key demos, boys 8 to 18 and women 18 to 49. Consumers are less excited about the Miracle brand, a troubling trend as we gear up for the holiday blitz. And he's like, damn, I was certain the Suicide Slum action figure line would heat up the collectible marketplace. There are two options. Number one, you do more heroic stuff around Metropolis, noble street levels. And number two, you probably want to stick with number one. Don't mince words. And he says, take off the mask. Reveal yourself publicly as Mr. Miracle. And he says, no, that's not a good idea. Anonymity is my primary selling point. The miraculous masked illusionist who mysteriously carries on the Mr. Miracle moniker is what keeps the audience coming back for more. And he goes, you don't want the world to know that Mr. Miracle is an African American. Okay, so the book continues. I'm not ashamed of who I am or what I stand for. Thaddeus Brown suffered tremendously once he was exposed. Shiloh, I won't disrespect you by pretending I know what it's like to be a black guy in this world, but I'm half Jewish and half Italian, raised in the wrong side of Brooklyn. The black part, am I correct? Don't twist my words. I'm making a point here. Look, if you're a Jewish, have you been seeing the videos from New York? That's actually pretty bad. I know that identity can be a prison too. I pretended to be a full-blooded Italian through Friday, Monday through Friday, and Jewish on the weekdays or weekends, just so I didn't get ostracized by 3 different communities. Hey, it's rude to leave when someone's talking to you. Where you headed? Metropolis, and you're right about one thing. You can't pretend to know what it's like being a black guy in this world. Well, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that your average black man, as a matter of fact, your average white man, let's just say your average person, aren't doing halo jumps from outer space, aren't doing anything from outer space, or even close to outer space as he was. My Lord in heaven. This is modern comic book writing, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody is a freaking victim to them. Everyone. And it's not the first. It continues. They do the whole firefighter thing. Oh, we're firefighters, not firemen. Not all of us are men. Well, you know what? Yeah, we know, unfortunately. So long as the woman can do the things that the men can do, sure, fine. But you don't want somebody not able to pick you up, you know? But they mentioned that in there. They have another one where he's like, oh my gosh, I was walking down the street and this woman grabbed her purse as I walked by. You're in the freaking city. Nobody's trusting anybody. And right now, there's video upon video of how the crimes have just ramped up. But that's what the modern day comic books are doing these days. That's what this is doing. Holy victimhood, Batman. What's going on? I was looking forward to this book. I'm not kidding. I was looking forward to reading Mr. Miracle. I was hoping it would have some of the feel. When I first discovered the character, give me something to grab onto and say, hey, I like that character. Yay. But alas, we get this. There's not, and the problem is the crap like that kind of overshadows all of the other stuff. Let Mr. Miracle be heroic. Or here's something, and I said this in the other side of the DC history book as well, and I'll say it here. Let Mr. Miracle be inspiring. That's what you need. You need somebody honorable. You need somebody just. You need somebody out there who makes you want to be them. That's what made the greats. And look, you didn't have to be white to be inspired by Spider-Man. You don't have to be black to be inspired by Black Lightning from the 1970s. Modern day you might. Shoot, I can't even freaking believe this. You didn't have to be black to be inspired by Shiloh Norman. Or even Luke Cage back in the 70s, back in the 80s, 90s. You didn't. But now they're freaking demographing everything. It's ridiculous and it's stupid. It's beyond stupid. By the way, I did like the fact that he had this girl sign a non-disclosure agreement so that if they started dating, she wouldn't reveal his identity. I thought that was actually a pretty good idea. It comes off like, oh, he's a dick for asking, but I was like, no, actually that's pretty good. I kind of like that. But that's about the most clever this book gets, and it don't get much cleverer than that afterwards. Actually, it never does. It's a disappointment, to say the least. I expected, I wanted more from this book so much. You have no idea. I was going to go over a couple of other passages on this one, too. But you get the idea. I don't know. I'm going to be doing a milestone review as well, but do you know what? I don't know if it's going to be much different than the other side of the DC history or Mr. Miracle. There's some good things to say about the milestone. So, you know what? I'll say a couple of good things here. The art is okay. Like I said, that's one banging cover. I dig that. I still like Mr. Miracle's costume. It's not really this character's or anything, but I still dig on the costume. I do kind of miss the wings, the cowl or the cape that goes all the way up. I always like that. You know, there you got that, but this whole thing about the I'm still in it. Yeah, look, there's going to be bad people in the world. There's going to be people who are suspicious in the world. Here's a clue: nut up, grow a pair, and if you can't handle it, wear a friggin' helmet. Jesus, Lord in heaven. Welcome to a world already in progress where in history everyone got the shaft at one point in time. Alrighty, Jesus Christ, the world does. This is something that we grew up with, or at least I grew up with, and it went like this: the world owes you nothing just because you're here. Wake the hell up! It surprises me how many people who claim they're woke who need to wake up. And these comic book writers need this. They are the most racist, not towards, well, they're racist towards white people, but they seem to be racist towards everyone. In this comic book, he talks about the bigotry of low expectations. Ladies and gentlemen, this comic book is the bigotry of low expectations. This comic book explains white privilege. Because this character has all the white privilege in the world from what you would, what people would claim white people have. Yet, because of the color of his skin, he's got black privilege too. He could complain about how the world is against him, even though he's a superhero that obviously is making some bank if you saw his apartment, and the fact that he can bankroll a halo jump from freaking space. He's got money, but now we see because of his skin color, he gets complained that the world's against him too. Holy Toledo and a half. So the message of Mr. Miracle is the message of damn near every freaking piece of media that stars a black person. Even if you're rich, you cannot achieve in America. That is the most ridiculous thing. It amazes me that anybody grabs onto this message, and they do. I saw a video one time. This young lady, she's an immigrant, and she was telling people, "No, you're listening to them, and you shouldn't. I'm new to your country. I went through college. I went through high school. I got good grades. I'm about to go into the military. I'm living my dream. I am making a great life for myself." And the black people there surrounded and got behind the white woman that was telling the immigrant, no, in America the black man cannot succeed. That is Scott, well, it's not Scott Free, but that is Mr. Miracle. That is this book right here. You have a successful black man telling other black people that they can't succeed, excuse me. I'm just losing it a little bit. Oy vey. So, I don't know. I've been ranting for about 15 minutes now. These books are ridiculous. I think I'm canceling DC. I'm not getting them on my pull list anymore. I might do a review here or there, but for cripe's sake, I'm done. DC, you fucking killed the DC universe for me. You have no idea how much since I started collecting comics 44 freaking years ago. The first one was a Golden Age Plastic Man. I was a DC fan. Welcome to the age of woke. You have destroyed my love for DC Comics. I need to read something that I'm going to grab and love about these characters. Oh, and by the way, here's the new character called Never Free. Hey, speculators, why don't you tell us how much this one's going to be worth? Jesus Lord. Never Free, spelled N-V-I-R, free. I'm done. You know what? I'm done. I'm not even going to do the outro. I'm just freaking done.